Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Build Your Empire with the Kingdom Strategist for a time of building and expanding the kingdom of God within you on the Kingdom Influencers Broadcast. We are educating and equipping individuals around the world to build and expand in their dreams, goals, visions, purpose, and destiny through biblical principles and application. I am your host, Deron Zorn, your kingdom strategist, here to release strategies and revelations to unlock the kingdom within you. My God, I am so excited about today. In this episode, we have a very special guest with us, and she is just going to come and impart her wisdom that God has placed on the inside of her with us on today, and I'm just absolutely excited about it. Now, you guys do me a favor. I'm going to introduce her in a moment, but what I want you to do is go ahead and share this broadcast on your social media platforms. If you know anyone who needs a career or looking for a career or a career change, need employment solutions, this is the broadcast that you want them to be on. Or you may be looking for it yourself. So you definitely want to stay tuned in on this powerful discussion that we're going to have. We're even going to have the opportunity for you guys to call in and ask any career question that you may have about career solutions, things of that nature. So I'm absolutely excited about it. So go ahead and tweet this broadcast out. Go ahead and share it on your Facebook. Go ahead and send it over to Instagram, Snapchat, Google Plus. All of those things alike, right? So that those that you know can get in on discussion and they can obtain some tools and some tips and some knowledge and information to help them grow and expand and begin to move in the places of their desires and their dreams. We're going to go to a word of prayer. Hallelujah. Father God, we thank you for this broadcast, and we thank you that you would saturate this place, saturate the lines in the atmosphere. We thank you, oh God, that what is going to be released on here is exactly what the listeners need right now, so that, oh God, that they can begin to move in greater depths and heights in your glory, in the word in which you have declared for their lives. We thank you, oh God, for words being released, Lord God, that's going to give them the keys to the doors that they may have access, oh God, in their careers, in their business, Lord, in the majestic name of Jesus. We thank you, oh God, for our guest on today and that in which you will pour out from her into the listeners, God. We bless your holy name in this place as we decrease, so that you may increase, so that everything that you have established in heaven can manifest in the earth for this broadcast. In Jesus' name, amen, and amen. To God be the glory. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Glory to God. As I was telling you, that we have a very excited, dynamic program for you on today. We're going to interview our guest, and then after I interview her for a moment, then she's going to give some great, amazing career tips and goals or what have you. And then you'll be able to call in and ask any questions that you may have that could get you off in the right direction. And especially that we're in the beginning of this year and we have so many goals that we have placed before. So let me tell you about this dynamic woman of God that is before us today. She is the founder and the executive director of Perfectly Suited Career Consulting Incorporation, with over 12 years of career development expertise in recruiting, staffing, workforce development, and facilitation of career workshops. She has gained recognition as the go-to guru of employment to young and old alike. She comes with a wealth of knowledge, knowledge of labor, marketing information, unemployment policies, and workforce development procedures. Gained from employment with the Georgia Department of Labor. She comes with, she have worked in various capacity throughout the state of with the National Job Corps. She is certified. She is certified in leadership, work ethics, professional association. I'm sorry, I messed that up. Oh, glory to God. Thank you, Jesus. But she is just very powerful and very, very anointed. She is, amen, glory to God. Her business started in 2008 as a work from home endeavor, assisting clients with resume critique and creation, manuscript editing, transcribing, and local career workshop and hiring events. Wow. They assist today's job seekers with career development tools such as career assessment, interview, coaching, resume packages from entry level to executive and leadership motivation, and customizable professional development training workshops for schools, church groups, and other nonprofit organizations. They also offer an accredited customer experience professional certification training program issued and recognized nationally and internationally by the Customer Institute of America and the International Council of Customer Service Organizations to individual clients, groups, small business, and corporate employees and management through online self-study or course facilitation. I would just like to introduce to you guys today none other than Alfreda T. Boney, the CEO of Perfectly Suited Career Consultant. Welcome, Miss Alfreda.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
Like, wow, when you hear somebody talking about you, like, is that me?
Yes, that's all of you and some more stuff that I didn't just even get to go over and that I tripped over too. You just come with such a wealth. You're so wealth and rich in all that has been given over to you. And we're just so excited to have you here with us on today. And so I want to go ahead and get us started and just begin to pick out the brilliance of your mind. And so I want to first start here. You know, what got you started in this entrepreneurship path as being a career consultant?
Okay, well, like I said, you know, I tell you, God is very strategic about what he places on the inside of us and when it comes out of us. And I started on this path probably by accident when I was looking for work. You know, I had started my career in a staffing agency. Actually, I went in looking for a job and became a placement coordinator in the same day because the manager liked how I presented myself and my skill sets. And she was actually going to hire someone else that she personally knew, but she said, you know what, I need you to meet the president of this small private agency. And the next thing I know, the next day, I'm working as the placement coordinator, and I fell in love with being able to really assist people with finding where they really fit in order to be successful and be efficient in what they knew to do. And then from there, I was given an opportunity to apply and work for the Georgia Department of Labor, and that's where it really just grew. It just really grew from there. And the way I came into actually, you know, believing that I could, you know, help people on the business side was that, you know, it's amazing that people would come in looking for work, and then I almost would start calling them habitual job seekers, you know, because it was like, why are you not working? I've seen you in here all month for a number of days, and the answer always came back to where, you know, they just couldn't find anything, or, you know, nothing was working out. They would go on interview after interview and nobody's hiring. But, you know, we knew where all the jobs was, so there just had to be a disconnect. And so I just started asking the question, God, why are these people not getting hired? And I remember there was a young lady that just came in and she was like, I would really love to work at this place, but, I just don't know what to do. And I had a good, rapport with the manager. So I said, this is how you should present yourself. This is what you should go in and say. And this is how you should do this. And tell her I sent you, by the way, And from there, it just became, to me, a passion, because I felt like there's so many people that want to do but don't know how to do. And if you should be able to share that information. So that's where Perfectly Suited came from, because I believe that there's a job for everyone, and it's all about finding where you fit. And it has to be a perfect connection between you and an employer, because in that way it grows into a long-standing relationship, and you're doing what you love to do, and it's just not anymore just a job.
You know what? I actually love that. I was going to ask you, how did you come up with the name? But, since you have already gave us the spill about it,
Flow right in it.
right, you just flow right on into it. And as I was listening to you, say that, it was just making me think about, that's just similar to a marriage, our
Mm-hmm.
careers. It began to make me think of, it took me straight to the garden, you know,
Mm-hmm.
where he told Adam, I'm going to find you a suitable helper.
Mm-hmm.
And it just took me right
Mm-hmm.
there. And so that which is a perfect fit. And so,
Mm-hmm.
when I was working as an outreach counselor over at the college, and our students used to come in, and I will always tell them, no, we're not going to go after money. We're going to go after your passion. Because I always
Mm-hmm.
believe that your passion will bring the money, because of the diligence in which one would work in as they go after after their passion, after their passion.
That is so, so true, because you'll find that you'll continue to run after money until that does not satisfy you. So honestly, when you find what you are good at, like the saying goes, your passion is your profit. When you find that niche that you are perfect in, the money will automatically come. But I think sometimes we get so impatient, and our young people just have not even been shown that strategy. Just quit a job and jump and quit and jump and quit. And then after a while, nobody will touch them. Why? Because they do not seem to be stable. And nobody's telling them that in order to, we didn't get here overnight, but there was a process to get here. And that's what I believe in trying to share what that process is, so it doesn't make them fall into some of the traps and the holes that we probably went through, in our younger days.
Right, got you. And I'm going to come back and ask a question off that one, but I want to ask you this. What would you like to see, what form of impact would you like to see your business make in the world?
Oh wow, I mean, I want to see people be successful. When I came into business, people will quickly tell you, well, everybody's not made for business. That's one thing I learned. I had to learn and figure out what I felt like could make me successful. But the impact I would love to have, especially on our youth and even with the older adults, is just to be able to understand where they are and who they are, and that they have a necessary need. There's somebody who needs what they bring to the table. Like there's a job for everyone. Everybody can't do the same jobs, So, people will tell you, oh, you need to run after this or you need to run after that. Just like they tell you, oh, you need to go to college. No, college isn't for everybody. You have to know exactly where you fit. And when you find it, and when you realize that, wow, I'm very successful. This is set up just for me, where I know I can help somebody else, to being able to make that difference. I mean, it's nothing to have somebody come back to you and say, thank you for listening and helping me to figure out where I'm good at, because at that place they're most happiest. And then I'm happy because I've been used to just be that either a listening ear or that key, as you were saying, just that key in position to help open that door for someone. That's my impact. But for youth, it's more so of helping them to really reach their potential and not make all the mistakes, and to really just not lose sight and focus of what they really are created for.
Awesome, 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 absolutely awesome. So the next question I want to ask you is, for those that have may be in a place or have been in a place where it's just been their career or their job has just been very unstable, they've been unstable up and down and things of that nature. What is something that you would advise them so that they could find themselves or bring themselves to a place where they can begin to be grounded and rooted in something that they love to do?
That's a good question. I would say first that, you just have to admit, you have to be real with yourself. I mean, that's just key. It's you have so many people that try to say, well, I wouldn't have done that. Well, you can't say what you wouldn't have done. Everyone has a different situation. But you have to sit down. I've been here where you have to just sit down and look at, just look at yourself and be able to say, okay, this is where I am. Now, where am I trying to go? And you have to be willing to ask for help, because even in the career field, I would tell young people, especially when I used to work career transitions at the Job Corps program, and these young people came from all over the country, and they were just trying to find a path that, I said, it doesn't matter who brought you here, it doesn't matter how you got here, but right now, this is about you, and it's about where you're trying to go. So let's look at where we are and how we're going to get there. I feel like when you are able to, like I said, be real, be honest with yourself and say, okay, this doesn't work for me, then it may be that, hey, I may need to go, pick up a new skill. It's okay to do something new. You have a lot of older people now that have worked a career path for 30, 40 years. And then all these jobs are laying off, and they're dissolving and eliminating positions. And it's like, well, this is all I know to do. What else? They feel like there's nothing else they can do. Well, it's that time that God gives you to recreate yourself. It could be that you could look at, a lot of people don't understand how their skills are transferable into other industries, into other positions. So many people get caught up in a title that they don't understand that the foundation can work a lot of places. The example would be that when I do my customer service training, when I'm offering that, I tell them that the foundation is what it is, but people get caught up in thinking, oh, that's about hospitality or that's about food service. No. Customer service is the foundation of any industry you want to go in. It's how you relate to people. And when you have a gift in being able to connect and inspire and really give people that excellent type of service, I mean, it opens doors in all different levels. So I would tell anyone to really just sit down and look at themselves first, be real, be honest, and then from that point, write down the things that they are passionate about. Look at the things that they are very good at, because here it is that I could be good at organizing. Well, there's opportunities to be an entrepreneur in that degree, but it's also opportunities to, connect with other people and work with that same skill set. So, it's about finding your passion and really just connecting. And then, like I said, being open to ask for help. A lot of people feel like, well, I can just go out here and do this, but then they get frustrated when it doesn't work for them like it did for somebody else. At the same time, I don't feel like I know everything. So I have to be open enough to go and seek out someone who's either doing what I would like to do or who's even better at what I'm currently doing, because that's going to increase me. I believe in mentorship. I believe in being able to find those who can help sharpen me. They say iron sharpens iron. So you definitely need to be open enough to find people that can give you direction and instruction, which will make you a better you. And I just feel like that stuff you can't buy that in any store. You really have to take that in life. So I think that would be just a real key component of someone really trying to get to that next level.
Well, I absolutely like that. And so even what I'm hearing from you, because in the business world, in the entrepreneurship, in that arena, we use, find your niche. We always use find your niche in that arena. And so, but what I'm hearing from you today, even in your career, It's all about finding your niche.
It
Finding that
is.
niche. Wow. I never looked at it in that perspective or from that, that perspective before. And so it definitely pull it all together and make it, make more sense. You had definitely great
Mm-hmm.
points with, not being honest with where you are, looking at where you're trying to go, discovering what's on the inside of you, what are your passions, being open to ask and seeking help, mentorship, as well. All just great, great, great um,
Mm-hmm.
responses that you had for us. So the question that I want to ask you now would be this: What is one of give us one of your biggest successes that you've had since launching your business?
Oh my gosh, God, it's been so good, and I tell you, it didn't happen, as quickly as I would have imagined. Like in the 8 years, what? Oh gosh, it's going to be 10, almost 10 years. Um, One of my biggest successes happened on last year, and it truly happened almost by accident because I could have missed the opportunity. Um, it was where I had, dealt with a young lady, a colleague, and, I helped her with a resume, and she was working, through one of the organizations that I was connected to, and I would always go out and do free workshops for the young people and so forth. And so a year later, this woman had been trying to find me. She had lost her phone, but she said, so happened that my number was still in her phone book. And when, I'm one of those people that when you call me and I don't know your number, I'll let you go to voicemail, then I'll call you back. So she had been trying to call me, and just this happened to be this one day, the end of 2016, she called and I answered, and she's like, I've been trying to reach out to you. She's like, do you remember me? And I'm like, yes, of course. And she's like, does your company do, training? And I'm like, yes. What do you need? Because I've always found myself to say, if I don't have it, I know how to go get it. I know how to research it for you. I'm going to find it. And from that conversation, I was able to obtain a contract through one of our local nonprofit organizations that helps reentry candidates, those who are coming out of the judicial system and the prison system. And it has been the most amazing opportunity to service them. And what we did was the first within this area was to offer them the accredited customer service training, because for them, we already knew what, their backgrounds could be, but I was so much more in tune to say, I want to show you what your possibilities are, because now I'm going to give you a tool that nobody in this area has, first and foremost. And then I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to use this tool to sell yourself so that you can either start your own business, or if you do want to, start in employment, you're going to show them that you are above anyone that they could ever find, because we already know, what you've been through. But let's start from where we are, and we're just going to take you to a whole nother level. So I was dealing with men and women who would tell me their stories, and I was able to even share my stories of how I got started, and letting them know that, there's nobody different from you. Some people just don't tell you where they've been. But if I tell you where I've been and show you where I am now, that's going to give you hope enough to get to where you need to be. And I was so, it would always bless my heart, because I remember one lady was like, I'm out here and I'm trying to start over. And sometimes people just always want to keep you where you've been. And I'm like, you know what? But they don't have any control over that, because that's in your hands to go to the next level. And so that was my biggest accomplishment to date. I mean, I was able to service, oh my God, at least several hundred clients that would come through those classes, and I would facilitate those classes and give them the assessments, and being able to present that certificate to them and show them how now they could go anywhere they wanted to, and be able to really show them that, look, I'm a different person, and here's the value that I'm about to bring to you that nobody else can bring to you. And they got it. That's my heart, that they get it. I don't want to just talk to be talking. I want them to be able to understand what it is, and the level that they can go to if they just apply themselves. So that's been my biggest accomplishment. I love that about it.
That's just absolutely amazing because as I was sitting earlier today and I'm just going through my thoughts, and my thoughts were to ask you about the recidivism population.
Mm.
And it just it didn't and I was like, no, I'm not gonna, I was like, well, no, because at first I was like, well, maybe let me
Really?
call her and prep her and ask her about it first, and I was like, no, I won't go there with her, but God is just so strategic.
Wow. Yes, he is.
He's
Yes,
very
he is.
strategic because I didn't even ask the question, and it was a part of, it was just a part of your response, to the previous question. So that's just absolutely amazing. So I know that means that it lines up, and there's somebody out here under the sound of my
Mm-hmm.
voice that needs to hear that right there. That needs to hear that right
Mm.
there. That no one has the capacity to keep you where you have been, because the
No.
power is in you,
Mhm.
and nobody has that right. So, even with that being said, so, and I heard you said that that you guys had two different paths going. Did you guys have a career path going for some and a career path going for, entrepreneurship path going for others?
Mhm.
Or, I love it. Love it, love it,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's where I really want to expand, especially for youth, because again, we tell everybody, well, go to work, but some people they don't like people. So why would you might not fit. That's like for my businesses, I try to assess them and say, well, do you like being around a lot of people? Some people don't like a crowd. They can work better by themselves. You have to know, like you said, your niche. And when I'm dealing with, young adults, you have people that say, well, nobody gives me a chance because I've never worked. And so it's almost like, well, talk to me. Have you been a part of community service? Have you done volunteer work? Have you been a part of a team before? I love dealing with youth because nobody pulls that out of them to help them to sharpen where they're good at. I mean, if you've been on a team, then you know time management, organizational skills, leadership skills. If you've been a
Hmm.
team captain before, and those things, when you got young people coming out of high school, and we just tell them go off to college, and be it that what if they can't afford it, and nobody's telling them the alternatives of technical school and certifications that make you just as qualified and can bring you just as much money instead of being in debt. And that's a whole nother story over there. But it's the things that we just leave out, and we just tell them to follow paths that have been created. Create your own. Me and my colleague, we have a women's workshop that we're saying, own your path to success. What does that look like? It's not the same for everybody, and we got to stop trying to be so cookie cutter and doing everything else, and really just rely and trust in God's way of how He's made us all different. And even if me and you did the same thing, we both would do it differently, and we're
Absolutely.
both going to attract different people, and He's going to give us exactly what we need out of those instances. We don't have to compete. I cannot believe in competing. My thing is all about relationship and collaboration. I want to be able to partner because what I can't do, that means you can do better. And I'm not
Right.
going to fight with you to get it done.
Right. That's one of the things that's one of my main teachings that I teach, and I put it in our mindset this way is that you cannot compete against an original.
No.
Because an original design
Okay.
is just always have the quality that nobody else would ever get. And so when we all begin to
Nobody.
think of ourselves as being an original design, then nothing. I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
competition spirit is just another effect because you
Yeah.
just cannot compete
No.
or compare. Right, because we're unique in our own right, and no one is the same. So this is
Mm.
absolutely amazing. I'm just loving my interview with you because as questions. I'm like, oh, she answered that. She, that was
Sometimes I'll
intended.
be stressed and I'll be like, Lord, you just work it out. Work it out.
Right, he already have it at hand. Man, it has been a very dynamic first half of the show. and just hearing your wisdom. I do before I do give it over to you for the second half, because I'm hearing this passion about the youth, and so I do want to pause for a moment and give you some space, or let us have dialogue about the, because youth my passion too, and just have this dialogue about youth, because you said something that's very great and amazing to me, that we don't sit down and have these conversations, with our youth. And, so many times we program them as if, okay,
Mm,
you finish high school, you go to college, you get a job or career, or what have you.
mhm,
But and so we put them in a box, or we put them in a gate, and
mhm.
we limit them versus, just let them know that the world is at their fingertips, even
Yes.
at that age, even in high school. Like, I just believe, look, let's build them young. I have a great passion and desire in my heart to start a
Mhm.
entrepreneurship program for youth,
Mm, mm.
so that they
Yes.
can begin to
Yes.
build their business. But I just want to hear some conversation, with you, about, I want to hear your heart, as I was hearing it, and just if you could just expound on that, with our youth, so that our parents that out here, that maybe it would trigger something in their mind where they can set
Mhm.
their youth in a place where there's no limits, there's no boundaries to them, and that the sky is the limit, and that, and in addition, it could open up or unleash that which is perfectly suited for them.
Mm. Oh, I love how you said that. I, for me, even when I was, and I still dabble in corporate, but I used to even touch the middle school, because sometimes you got to even catch them at that age, because
Hmm.
that's where they're really shaping their mindset before they even touch high school. And I used to go and do career choice workshops where you're going in and you're showing them, the lifespan of a career, and how much money, you think you need, and what you think will work for you, and how it really works. And so for me, when I talk about youth, I've done it. I was the parent that was like, "You're gonna get out of here, and you're gonna get a job," or you got to go to school. You're not gonna sit around here. I remember when my son, he's a military serviceman now, but when he graduated college, yeah, I mean graduated high school, he told me flat out, "I'm not going to college." And I'm like, "Okay, but you're gonna do something." And my thing was to tell him that it was that I just did not want him to just stop. At that moment, they still don't know what they want to do, because it didn't take us at 18 or 17 to really know what it was. We were shaped by all of our experiences and happenstances in life. But from there, because I had been a part of Job Corps and I knew its core, and I knew the benefits that it even had, especially with the career training piece, I said, well, hey, I know an awesome program. Guess what? You can go all the way to Kentucky. You don't even have to stay in Georgia. He went off. He excelled, came back in leadership. I mean, he was done in maybe 6 months. Then he came back home, and he was still just looking around. And I'm sitting here like, really? Is that what we want to do? But I realized that I can't make him live out my dreams. Okay, he has his own, and he sat there in my house, and he was when he finally decided that he wanted to do military, but he had some struggles in the beginning, and he said, "Mama, I just want to be successful." And I told him, I said, "But that's a definition that I can't give you, because success for me is so different from the success that you're looking for." I said, "So it's going to be a process of you getting there, but." My thing is, I just want to help get you into a position to where you can start to see different things and meet different things. My daughter has just graduated from college last year, and she's home now and working. And I've told her the same thing. I can't let you live out my dreams. I need you to be aware of your own. Like, what are you passionate about? She loves kids. She went to college to be a pediatrician, but those medical and chemistry classes, they wore her out there for a second. And when she came home, she was like, well, you know what? Maybe now I'll be a teacher. Now she's on to something else. At the same time, I can embrace that, and I can say, you know what? The world, like you said, is at your fingertips, and you have the advantage to go, and you could go overseas and teach. I mean, you could just take the opportunities that are available to you and really help them to sharpen and define what it is that you truly eventually want to focus on. But for our youth, I just believe that we have to listen to them. We want to say they're at risk. I hate hearing that because every child, no matter gender or race, is at risk if we don't educate them correctly. Everyone, they always said, is always a paycheck away from homelessness and so forth and so on. But I feel like we do them a disadvantage when we don't listen sometimes. We just tell them. We're so quick to say, do this, do that. We don't tell them how. We don't tell them how to not make the mistake or to go beyond. And I feel like that's where we have lost that communication piece with them. So for me, I work with a nonprofit out of Atlanta, and she has an awesome movement called Youth on the Move. And as it relates to employment, it's motivated to obtain valuable employment. It's not about just a job. It's about making sure that you know where you fit because in something that we said earlier, for me, when a person is in their career path, a lot of times they're always looking to jump to the next job, but you don't always have to do that. You can always grow from within. Bloom where you've been planted. That's something my spiritual father, you would tell me all the time. You bloom where you've been planted, and that means to say that you can really sharpen who you are and become a leader within a position. Some people look bad at a McDonald's, but McDonald's has an awesome management program. You can take that and then become a franchise owner. And from those levels of just maybe being open and being alert and being open to learn and being available to do the extra, you never know who's watching you. You never know who is in a position to bless you. You're just like one conversation away from, an amazing event that could change your whole life. And I only say that because I've seen it happen for me. I took part in some trainings here within our local city government, and then I ended up teaching entrepreneurs that were in that same class that I had just sat in, and it just blew my mind. So you have to be in a position of receiving, and if we just listen to them and just pay attention to the things that they talk about, then we can take that and be able to help them to get to where they want to be, and we can stop. I think we could really cut down on all the frustration that we see and the bad habits that we see and the wrong ways that they do end up going, because 9 times out of 10, nobody's just really paying attention and listening to them to help them to get to where they really want to be. So that's my hope. I'm actually getting ready to do another employment boot camp and career expo here, and I believe I call it education into implementation, because there's no sense in me telling you anything if I don't show you how to get it done, or if I don't show you how to do it. And that's a project I want to be able to take, throughout this country. I'm just believing God for that, because it can be in any area, rural, metro, it doesn't matter, because the youth are the same. They just need to have direction. And so, girl, I can talk forever, so let me go.
Right. And and as you're talking, I'm just over here getting excited.
I
I'm
could
just
talk
over here I'm
forever.
just getting excited, and I'm like, yes, Lord. I'm like, yes, Lord. You just need to hear the thoughts in my mind.
Okay.
But I just love it. You said bloom, bloom where you are, and as you was talking, what I was hearing, woman of God, was that even coming out of the gate and really making a conscious decision is bringing me back to this marriage thing, but making a conscious decision on, or the best decision for us, or the let me use your name, perfectly suited decision for us, where we can grow and mature in a place and not go from what you say, job hoppers or job seekers,
Mm-hmm.
from there, where we become, you know, um, those who would, you said, blossom, where you are. So being bringing ourselves to places in our life, or space in our life, really looking at what it is that I want to do, what it is that I have the passion to do, so that wherever I go, I can grow.
I love that. Yes.
And so I don't know. You just had so much stuff to say that was just making me so excited. But what I'm getting ready to do, this is a powerful interview, and but I know I gotta get you over here to your over here so that you can just impart even the more in your own way. I'm giving some tips as you talk about from passion to profit, the untold story. I'm excited to hear about that. So at this time, I'm just gonna turn it over to you and
Amen.
just let you pour into the listeners on today.
Okay, well, like I said, and I just am excited, like I said, to really just be a part of this life-changing program. For me, I believe that like we've been talking about the whole time, your passion is your profit. But, a lot of times people don't tell you the struggles. They don't tell you the pitfalls. They don't tell you the bump in the road that you're going to go through to experience that. But I think that everything that you learn in that journey is still going to add value to you as a person, to you as in your career, and even if a person decides to go into entrepreneurship. For me, I can speak on both sides to say that, in the corporate world of work, it took a long time. I've grown from doing manual labor and hard labor to really saying, okay, this is what I want, but how do I get there? And so I had to, like I said earlier, to really just be open and to listen and to find people, friends, colleagues, even while I was working, just looking for, that opportunity that I could really gain more knowledge. Like I said, we learn day to day, and sometimes we have to be open to looking at other people that are very good in a particular area and saying, hey, how did you learn that? Show me how to do that. I mean, it's not that you're trying to be like them, but in sense, you were able to learn something that could help you later on down the road. And so when you open yourself that way, I believe that it really just gives you, new opportunities. So when they come, you're ready for them. But when you talk about, knowing what your passion is, like I said, for someone who is a housekeeper, some people love that type of work. I know I'm not the best housekeeper in my home, but I love it when I can come in and it smells fresh and I'm able to do that, look through the glass or what have you. And there are people who are just so awesome in that field. And then, there's others that, they love to be a cook. And I mean, they can put together uh, uh, a dinner from scratch. I mean, it just amazes you. But they do it because it's normal to them. To them, they don't even see it as a gift. But God has gifted them to be, you know, so, oh gosh, what's the word I want? So intensive in their efforts in doing that. So a lot of times there are people walking around in their passions and they don't even recognize it. They don't even recognize it because it's so common to them. But for somebody else, they're waiting on that gift. They're looking for that opportunity, or they're looking for someone who can do exactly what you do. But you may not even, think no more about it. So if you just take a look at the things that you do on an everyday basis, for me, it was easy for me to write, and it was easy for me to look at words and be able to shape them into creative sentences and make people really pay attention. And it was like, and I even enhanced that when my spiritual father was allowing me to scribe under him. Like he would speak, and I would just take notes, and then I would turn those notes and almost into devotional readings, and people would be like, wow. Did he say that? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know who else said it, and I felt like that, I don't know how I did it, but to them, it was the beginning of me being able to now write, and being able to transcribe for other powerful men and women to help them in their books, and it just opened doors for me. So I would tell anyone to really don't discount, the day of small beginnings. You have to start somewhere. Every entrepreneur, every business owner, every leader, they started somewhere. They did not just overnight come into that place. And once you listen, open yourself to even asking them, how did, like you're doing, how did you get there? What did you do? How did you put yourself in position? I just believe in always being open to meeting new people, being open to creating new relationships, because I believe that in that there's something that I will connect to. I believe that, like you said, you don't have to run after money. The money is out there. We kind of always say, well, no, I'm not making enough, but are you doing enough? Some people feel like, they should promote me. I am a corporate recruiter as well, and it amazes me how you have people that come through our doors and they just want a job, and I'm like, you want a job, and there's about 100 more that's going to come through here that want the same job. That one position I have, there could be 100 people interviewing. You tell me why I need to hire you, and you'll be surprised, old and young. They can never sell themselves to me to say why they would be the best fit. And 9 times out of 10, I have to go to that person who's going to really give me the best why. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to waste, the value of my company and the money that we want to spend on someone who's just going to leave us. I need to know what are you after? And I always love to hear someone who says, I want to be able to grow. I want to be able to learn. I want to be able to get to the next level. Now, you can't just do the regular routine day after day and think you're going to get to the next level. You have to go above and beyond. You have to be available. You have to be open to learn. And a lot of times people want the benefits, but they're not ready to put in the work. So when it comes to really targeting, your passion and making it your profit, there's a lot of groundwork that has to be done. Like I said, knowing, where you fit, knowing who you are, knowing what you bring to the table. It's okay. It's not being braggadocious. It's not any of that, because God, He's given us that ability. He's given us that right to walk in authority, to walk in who we are. But you got to know who you are. You got to know who you are, and you got to know what you bring to the table. And so I would just, love to tell anyone that's listening that, there's never, every day is a new beginning. I say it like that. Every day is a new beginning, to start over, to better, to learn something new every day. Every day we wake up, we have that opportunity. It's a blessing. And if you're in a career that you don't like, telling a colleague, sometimes we sit in relationships like that. We sit in all types of atmospheres where we feel like, well, this is all it is, and this is all that's out there. No. All it takes is a decision to move. All it takes is a decision to change. And once you make that decision, the sky's the limit, because the doors will open when we do that. So just being passionate and what your gift is, it will make room for you, what the word says. It definitely, your gift will make room for you and place you before great men. And when you are there, they will definitely take account, and the sky's the limit. So, I would just, anyone, definitely stay focused, but definitely, just pay attention. And there's an acronym that I just have to always go back to this man of God, because it's always, been a pivotal point in my development. He said, you always have to look at focus, and so this is what I'll end it with. Focus is first things first. Always keep the first things first. Always make sure you prioritize the things that are most important, family, God, those things, they will always create, definitely an awesome environment to grow within. The O is for other things second. Things that just don't matter, they don't need to matter. You definitely need to, put them to the side, come back to them another day, but leave, other things are just second. C, cut out all the unimportant stuff, because certain things can waste your time. And in this life right now, the way things are going, we don't have time to waste. We really don't. U is to unify. We need to come together. We need to definitely support one another. Like I said before, there should not be competition when we are all about the same mission in life. If it is to help others, if it is to support, if it is to, help develop and grow, we should come together as a unit, as a unified body and do this. I mean, everybody may do it differently, but that's what makes us so unique in this body. We don't have to do it the same, even if we're working on the same project. Everyone still has a part to play. So if we come together in unity and collaboration, I think that can make the job so much easier, and we get it done faster too, because one person just can't do it by themselves. And then the S is to stick with it. I think that is, as long as we know what our focus is and what we want and the passion that God has given us, as long as we just don't give up, because giving up, we just, you can't worry about the what else. You really just have to stick with it. You got to stay focused. You really just have to go forward, I mean, and even when mistakes happen, and they will, we learn. You learn from those mistakes, and then you get up and you go again. So that's what I would love to leave with your listeners.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You said so many powerful things. Let me just make sure that they have the dial-in number for the Q&A session. For those that want to participate in the Q&A session, you can definitely dial 515-739-1297, and your access code will be 2793335. Again, that number is 515-739-1297, access code 2793335. And those that are on the website at DeroncheZorn.com, you can, when you listen to the broadcast, hit the comment section, and if you want to type in your comment over in chat, I can pick it up and ask the question if you like. If you like, you can do it that way as well. Those are the two ways that you can connect and be in a part of this Q&A. But I just absolutely love it. Ms. Alfreda, you said so many, just like I said, so many powerful things. And even as, you were just letting the individuals know, or the listeners know, as you were empowering them in the steps that they need to take, or the action steps. And you was talking about the things that is untold, and that everything is not perfect, and there are some things that we will encounter as we move in our careers, as we move in entrepreneurship, no matter what it is. But and I love it, having that stick to itness, stay with it, not leaving the course, and unifying with one another. And you said that even earlier. You said, look, what I don't have, somebody else may have. And what that does, that just make the foundation even stronger. It really strengthened us as a whole. One of the things I always say, we all shine brightly in our own perspective, but when we come together, we get to shine brighter, and it illuminates even greater.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
You put a
and
lot of lights together, girl. There's a light up. There's a light up for miles around. I
what
mean,
you
you can't
talking
miss it.
about, right? So that's
You
why
can't miss
we got
it.
to learn this thing. And I think once, especially when we get to this place of unity, we're gonna see that we'll be able to do a whole lot more, much quicker, once we get together
Yes.
and we come together as a unit. These little battles that we are fighting, or these little silos that we're fighting in, if we come together, we'll go ahead and win the war.
That's right.
We'll
That's
win the
right.
war, and lives can be saved and transformed. Children, our youth,
Mm-hmm.
being in the places that they need to be in. Moving in their destiny,
Yes.
moving in their purpose. And things of that nature, as well as adults alike. As well. So as we're waiting for them, for those to come in. Or to call in, or for chat to come over, won't you go ahead, Ms. Frida, and just give them your contact information on how they can connect with you?
Well, on I have our Facebook page. It's Perfectly Suited Career Consulting. Our website is www.perfectlysuitedcareer.com. There they can be able to reach out to me by email and leave a comment or contact us. We are on Instagram. I call myself a HR diva on Instagram. I'm still learning this social media. I was like, I know that that's where everyone is, but sometimes it's like I love the interaction with face to face. But I'm learning that hey, you got if you want to reach the world, you got to follow those steps. So those platforms, I'm able to be reached, and we'll definitely try to reach back out and contact them as soon as possible. But yeah, those are our contact pages.
Yes, and I understand. Look, you like the face to face, and so when we're in these 2000 in the 20th century, and not only that,
Okay.
it allows you to expand abroad. It allows
Definitely.
you to spread
I'm really
abroad, and it
excited.
allows you to it allows you to help. You can help the masses as well. It puts you
Hmm.
in a position, you in a place where you can also help the masses, where you're not limited. What I love about it is that I'm not limited in my community,
Yes.
in my city, or in my state. I am international, right?
That's it. That's it. I love that. I love that because you don't know where that person is that needs you, and then they just happen to come across a post. I think that's how we connect. Just coming across a post and saying, "Wow, I want to be a part of that." And there it goes. Just opens up that new door.
Right, absolutely. So we never know, and then it allows our light to also shine even the more, because with
Hmm.
these social media platforms that we would have never been. Many people I know that I've met, I would have. I don't know how I would have met them. I know when God first
Hmm.
told me, "Hey,
Hmm.
this thing is international. Your ministry is international. Your business is international." I'm like,
Right.
"How am I gonna get international?" How we doing that? And so, with all the
Okay.
questions, and everything, or whatever. I mean, I've traveled international several times, and all of that, and I'm just like, but how we gonna make all this stuff? But I love it. I've trained more international and things of that nature via the internet or social media,
Hmm.
and things of that nature, what have you, in in business industry, in the ministry as well, because of how the platforms allow us to just connect around the world. And so just absolutely love it. But but I feel you. I'm like, that is, like, it's too many passwords, too many uh,
Isn't it? Oh my God! But like you said, I have to reach out and find people. I met a wonderful young lady at a conference in Orlando, who was like, I mean, her story was just amazing because she was actually like, just going through chemo treatments and started really dabbling with Instagram, and now she is, I mean, an international almost trainer of social media
mm,
and how to really take your business to the next level. And it's just like I met this young lady and to hear her story, it just blessed me. And then I started sharing it with everybody I knew. And that's how we grow because you don't keep that
right,
information. You share it
right.
because you don't know who needs it at that time. So,
Absolutely. You are so absolutely right. I don't see anybody here on the call lines. I don't see anything in chat either. I just want y'all to know, if y'all come in and out of social media, because we broadcast to about 14 different platforms. If you
hmm.
guys are coming in out there, I am so I apologize in advance. We'll have to get those later, and some of them
Hmm.
I don't even know how to access. But we'll work on that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm just telling you that this has surely been a definitely a phenomenal time here, with Ms. Alfreda T. Boney, where they're developing
I
a
appreciate that.
qualified and retainable workforce tailor
Workforce.
made for
Tailor
success.
made.
My Lord, you know what? Hallelujah. Thank you. I'm going
Perfectly
to do you
suited.
right. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. So, are you tired of waking up in the morning not wanting to go to work? If that's the case, your job or your career, it's not perfectly suited for you.
I love
You,
it.
if you, uh, you don't have to be miserable at work. If you're
Mm-mm.
at work and you're just miserable and groggy, then that means that you haven't found the perfectly suited career for you. And if
You.
that be the case, for you. You're getting up, you don't want to go to work, and or you're at work and you're miserable, then we have a solution for you. You need to reach out to perfectly suited career consultant and speak with Miss Alfreda T. Boney and her staff so that they can hook you up and find the career path or the entrepreneur endeavor that is perfectly suited for you.
For you.
My Lord.
Love it.
Amen. In the name of Jesus. We have had an awesome time right here.
Thank you
Right here,
so
right
much.
here. Wow, wow, wow. Right here on the Build Your Empire with the Kingdom Strategist, right here on the Kingdom Influencers broadcast. You can definitely contact and connect with Miss Alfreda with the information that she has given unto you. This broadcast will definitely be on replay on demand. You can always go to DeroncheZorn.com and listen, re-listen to the broadcast, and I encourage everyone to just so you can grab anything that you may have missed, and if that you may have missed, so that you can get what you need. Even though she gave just a little out here, and it'll help you suit it just a little bit, but you're really going to have to reach out to her so that she can help you get your whole design together. Right? So that you can be in that perfectly suited career, entrepreneur endeavor that fits you. Right? So, my, you've been listening live to the Build Your Empire with the Kingdom Strategist. I am your host, Deron Zorn, your Kingdom Strategist on the Kingdom Influencers broadcast. If this message have empowered you, subscribe to our broadcast and visit us at www.derashayzorn. Visit us at deronchezorn.com to schedule your free 15-minute consultation. We will be back next week at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that you can obtain the skills, the information that you may need so that you can build the empire within you. In Jesus' name, we will see you next week.